What if you could truly master the things that shape your daily life?
Mm.
Your words, your thoughts, your emotions, even your financial choices.
Yeah.
Imagine breaking free from those hidden limitations and really living entirely on your terms.
It's not just a compelling idea, though, is it? It's actually achievable. The ability to genuinely influence how others see you, how you see yourself, and crucially, your actual outcomes in life.
Exactly. So today we're taking a deep dive into exactly that.
Yeah.
How to unlock the proven methods to take control of your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. It's really a path to true success, defined by living, precisely on your terms, not someone else's.
Yeah, and our guide for this exploration comes from a pretty rich set of excerpts from an audiobook. It lays out a surprisingly clear and frankly actionable path to personal transformation.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive is to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge and those, genuinely surprising facts from this material. We want to give you a shortcut to being really well informed about these critical areas so you can turn what might feel like limitations into, well, exciting new opportunities.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's unpack this first one. Mastering your mouth, the power of words and silence.
Hmm. The Outer Book makes this really powerful point. Words aren't just sounds. They actually shape your reality. They influence how others see you, and maybe more importantly, how you see yourself.
Mm-hmm. And what's fascinating is the dual nature, right? A single kind word can genuinely spark hope, maybe lift someone's whole day. But a harsh one, well, that can create lasting scars. A core insight from the source material is this idea that every time you open your mouth, you are like planting seeds, seeds that will grow into something. So the challenge then is to choose your words with the care of a gardener, almost.
That's such a powerful metaphor, isn't it? It's not just about the dictionary definition of the words, it's the ripple effect. Your words either build connection and trust, or they create distance and hurt. And when you think about it, your language is often a direct reflection of your underlying mindset if your internal talk is always critical.
Yeah, it's hard to speak positively then, isn't it? Precisely. So speaking with purpose, it means communicating thoughtfully, with clarity, and real intention. It's about understanding the potential impact of your words before they even, leave your mouth, making sure your message is understood, respected.
And clarity is it's essential. The material really hammers this home. Organizing your thoughts, using simple, direct language, prevents so many misunderstandings, makes your message clear so people can actually act on it. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to guess what you're really trying to say.
Right. And beyond the words themselves, the tone. Tone matters hugely. Think about it. The way you say something can change its entire meaning, can't it? A harsh tone makes an innocent comment feel like an attack, while a calm, respectful tone can make even difficult feedback feel, well, constructive.
It's a bit of an aha moment in the material when it points out that, purposeful speaking isn't about constantly trying to sound profound. Sometimes, actually, the most powerful thing you can do is just be silent.
Which leads right into the active listening piece. Purposeful speaking isn't a one-way street. It's a dynamic exchange. Listening actively, like really hearing what's being said, lets you respond appropriately, show respect, and build that deep trust. It's about connection, not just talking at someone.
I think for a lot of us, silence often gets misinterpreted. We see it as weakness, maybe awkwardness, or even indifference. But the material really challenges that view, presenting silence as this incredibly powerful tool for inner strength, for self-awareness.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating is how in moments of conflict or, high emotion, consciously choosing silence can give you that vital clarity, the space to just observe, assess your own feelings, and then decide on a thoughtful response instead of just, bang, reacting impulsively. You operate from calm strength.
And in leadership roles, this really stands out. A truly great leader knows when to pause, when to allow that silence. It fosters an environment where others feel genuinely heard, safe to contribute. It projects this confidence and wisdom.
Silence also offers a really critical form of protection and self-care. It guards your thoughts, your personal space. It shields you from unnecessary conflict or just emotional drain. It lets you quiet your mind for that mental clarity, that emotional balance, which is just essential for growth and, frankly, preserving your energy.
Okay, here's a surprising fact from the source material. Silence can actually be a powerful form of resistance. Imagine forcing others to confront their own actions, their own words, without you saying a single thing back. That's unexpected power, isn't it?
It really is. And in relationships, too, silence in moments of tension gives both people crucial time to process their emotions. It fosters empathy, creates space for understanding rather than just escalating the conflict.
Okay, moving from our words to our inner world, let's dive into mastering your mind, thoughts, focus, and positive thinking. The audiobook makes it crystal clear. Our thoughts are the very foundation of everything we do. They shape beliefs, actions, our whole reality. So getting a handle on them is like the fundamental first step towards a purposeful, peaceful life.
It's so true. Our minds are constantly buzzing, right? Just barraged by thousands of thoughts every single day. And without some level of mastery, that internal world can get really chaotic, overwhelming, distracting, like trying to navigate dense fog with no compass.
And the first, most crucial step here is awareness. Just becoming conscious of your thought patterns, especially those recurring negative ones that might be holding you back. You can't change what you don't even recognize, can you?
Right. And the source material gives us several powerful tools for this thought mastery. There's mindfulness, staying present, acknowledging thoughts without judging them. That creates critical space between, the stimulus and your reaction. Then positive affirmations, not just wishful thinking, but daily repetition to literally rewire the brain, embed empowering beliefs, and visualization. Vividly imagining desired outcomes. It's not daydreaming, it's training your mind for success, creating a mental blueprint.
It also points out something important. External influences. Your environment, the people around you, the media you consume, it all profoundly impacts your thoughts. So curating a positive environment isn't just nice, it's actually essential.
Which really brings up an important question for you, the listener. Are your thoughts genuinely serving you? Or are they maybe inadvertently holding you back? Challenging those thoughts and recognizing that direct link between thoughts and emotions, that changing your thinking can change your emotional state. That's fundamental.
And it's liberating, isn't it? That idea of transforming your inner critic into a more supportive voice through conscious self-talk. Plus, practicing gratitude consistently. It just shifts your focus from lack to abundance.
Definitely. And for those times the mind feels extra busy, meditation is highlighted. It's a great practice to quiet the mental chatter, detach a bit from overwhelming thoughts, and cultivate mental resilience. So you face challenges not as roadblocks, but as genuine opportunities for growth.
Okay, so if thoughts are the foundation, then focus and clarity. These emerge as the powerful tools for success, especially, in today's world of constant distractions.
Oh, absolutely. To truly get focused, you really need to tune out distractions. And that's not just willpower. It means actively creating an environment that helps you concentrate, minimizing interruptions, both external and internal.
And clarity. It really starts with clear goals, doesn't it? If your goals are vague, your focus just drifts all over the place. Specific, well-defined goals act like a GPS for your mental energy, give you direction.
Discipline and healthy boundaries are key here, too. Prioritizing long-term goals over those fleeting short-term pleasures and learning to say no. Saying no to protect your time and energy from things that don't genuinely align with where you want to go. That's a game changer.
The material offers practical techniques as well, like breaking big tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. Feels less daunting that way. And for clearing mental clutter, things like mindfulness, short breaks, even journaling, it's all about intentionally prioritizing what truly matters.
And let's not forget mental fatigue. The audiobook really stresses the importance of rest, quality sleep, exercise. You need these for sustained focus. It's not just about pushing harder, it's about managing your mental energy intelligently.
Right. And it connects back to you, the listener. Cultivating self-awareness acts like your internal alarm system. It helps you notice quickly when your focus is drifting so you can gently but firmly pull it back.
Okay, moving to the power of positive thinking. The material frames this as way more than just, a vague, feel-good mindset. It's presented as a powerful, actionable tool that fundamentally shapes every aspect of your life. It's not about ignoring difficulties, being naive. It's about intentionally changing your perception of those difficulties.
Right. So a positive thinker doesn't pretend problems aren't there.
Yeah.
Instead, they instinctively try to reframe challenges. See setbacks as valuable lessons or maybe opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
It's a perspective shift.
Exactly. And doing that sets off this powerful self-reinforcing cycle. Positive thoughts influence positive beliefs, which then shape positive actions, which ultimately tend to attract more positive outcomes. It genuinely starts to transform your reality.
And this directly builds resilience, right? When you approach things positively, it helps you bounce back faster from adversity. You maintain hope, keep that motivation going even when things get tough.
And it has a profound impact on self-belief and overall mental health. Positive thinking helps overcome self-doubt. And it's even linked to releasing those feel-good chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, improves your emotional and even physical well-being.
The material really delves into the wider impacts too. How positive thinking genuinely enhances relationships, boosts creativity, can give you more physical energy, and even significantly improves decision-making. It's surprisingly far-reaching.
And, crucially, it encourages self-compassion. Treating yourself with kindness, accepting flaws is just part of the growth process, like you would a friend.
Okay, now let's talk about mastering your mood, emotional control, and thoughtful responses. The material clarifies something important here. Emotional control isn't about suppressing emotions, not pretending they don't exist or stuffing them down. Instead, it's learning to recognize, understand, and then skillfully regulate them so they actually serve you rather than controlling you.
Yeah, the first step, just like with thoughts, is awareness. Tuning into your feelings, putting a name to them, labeling them, and then genuinely trying to understand their root causes. Only then can you start to manage them effectively, strategically even.
And it's about proactively identifying your emotional triggers.
Yeah.
Those specific situations, words, people maybe, that reliably cause strong reactions. So you can anticipate and manage your response before you get overwhelmed.
And it's worth repeating that point from the mind section. Thoughts and emotions are intrinsically linked. Changing your thought patterns can directly alter your emotional responses. That gives you really powerful lever for control.
The material highlights some incredibly practical tools too. Simple breathing techniques, for instance. Just consciously slowing your breath can immediately calm your nervous system, reduce that emotional intensity. And mindfulness, staying present, observing emotions with a bit of detachment, that acts like a buffer, preventing those impulsive, often regrettable reactions.
It's really about developing a healthier relationship with your emotions overall, accepting them as they are without judgment, which, paradoxically, creates the space needed for healing and growth. Cognitive reframing is another great tool mentioned, changing your interpretation of a situation, like seeing a delay not as an annoyance, but maybe an opportunity to prepare better.
The audiobook really emphasizes the crucial pause, that deliberate moment you create between feeling a strong emotion and acting on it. That delay is where thoughtful, intentional action can emerge instead of just a raw, knee-jerk reaction.
Yes. And learning to channel that emotional energy, redirecting strong feelings like anger or frustration into productive outlets, like intense exercise or creative work, or even just focused problem solving, that can be incredibly beneficial, really transformative.
Self-care and setting clear boundaries are prioritized here too. They aren't presented as luxuries. They're essential activities that build your emotional strength and help you manage your responses effectively over the long haul.
What's particularly insightful is how empathy and de-escalation tie into emotional control. Understanding others' emotions, even when they're difficult, helps you respond with compassion and navigate those high-pressure situations more gracefully. The audiobook truly stresses that emotional control. It's like building muscle or resilience. It's built through consistent practice and patience. Journaling, for example, is mentioned as a powerful aid in this ongoing process.
Okay, moving to responding, not reacting. The core distinction here is so clear and incredibly impactful. Reacting is impulsive, often driven by raw emotion. Responding is deliberate, thoughtful, intentional.
And choosing to respond rather than just react, it consistently leads to more positive outcomes. Think about it. Healthier relationships, more effective conflict resolution, and ultimately a more fulfilling life because you're in the driver's seat, not being controlled by circumstances.
And it all comes back to that super important pause, doesn't it? The choice to respond means consciously taking that beat, to assess, consider the context, and then deliberate on the best action instead of just lashing out.
Right. Emotional awareness and mindfulness are vital here. They create the mental space you need to choose your response, not just be dictated by the heat of the moment. This is where self-regulation really comes in, that discipline to manage your emotions and behavior, even when the stakes feel incredibly high.
It also involves understanding the full context, trying to see the bigger picture before jumping in. That helps avoid those impulsive reactions. And it encourages thinking long-term, considering the future consequences of your actions.
This whole practice directly cultivates emotional intelligence, significantly improving conflict resolution, communication, just overall effectiveness. And an important detail from the audiobook, sometimes, in certain situations, silence itself is the most powerful and strategic response. It gives space to de-escalate tension.
And the better you know your triggers, that deep self-awareness we talked about, the better equipped you are to respond intentionally, instead of just falling into old reactive habits.
Finally, within this mood section, let's look at creating healthy boundaries. The source material positions boundaries as absolutely essential for self-care, for emotional well-being. They're about clearly defining your limits, emotional, mental, physical space so you can protect yourself.
Yeah, they aren't walls to keep people out necessarily. They're more like smart guidelines for respectful, mutually beneficial interactions. Boundaries prevent you from feeling constantly overwhelmed or drained or maybe taken advantage of.
But you have to know yourself first. Self-awareness is truly the foundation here. You've got to understand your own needs, your core values, your limits before you can communicate them effectively to others.
And then comes the tricky part for many, the courage to say no.
Hmm.
It's a significant challenge, but the material insightfully reframes it. It's not selfish. It's a crucial act of protecting your most valuable resources, your time and your energy.
Clear communication is vital. The audiobook stresses being direct, assertive when expressing your needs, and crucially, remembering that healthy boundaries aren't really up for negotiation once set, which, yeah, requires consistent practice and self-compassion.
And they need to evolve, right? The
Yeah.
material points out boundaries aren't static. You need to reassess them periodically as your needs, your circumstances, your relationships change over time.
Hmm. And just as you set boundaries for yourself, the principle of mutual respect means you've got to respect others' limits too. That reciprocity is key for healthier relationships all around.
The benefits are genuinely huge.
Mhm.
Reduce stress, less burnout, protection for emotional health, more control over your time, fostering mutual respect, and significantly better communication in all your relationships.
And here's a common misconception the audiobook tackles. Setting boundaries doesn't automatically lead to conflict. It actually prevents resentment. It improves relationships by bringing clarity, preventing frustrations from building up.
Hmm.
Sometimes, yes, it might mean making tough choices, maybe even letting go of genuinely toxic relationships that just continually drain you.
Okay, so from mastering our mood, we transition to maybe the most tangible area for many people, mastering your money.
Mm.
And this isn't just about, balancing a checkbook. It's about building a solid financial foundation and fostering strategic growth.
Absolutely. The audiobook introduces financial discipline and purposeful saving as the cornerstones for long-term stability. It's about managing money wisely, aligning your spending choices with your values, and making truly intentional financial decisions.
It seems like it all starts with just understanding your money. The first crucial step is simply tracking expenses. Not judging yourself, just gaining real insight into spending habits, identifying where unnecessary costs might be hiding. Hard to steer a ship if you don't know where it's leaking, right?
Exactly. And that leads right into budgeting, which the material calls the absolute backbone. A well-crafted budget helps you live within your means, prioritize your financial goals, and proactively stop those impulse buys that derail progress. It's your money map.
Resisting impulse spending. Yeah, that's highlighted as a major hurdle for many of us. The audiobook emphasizes delayed gratification, just taking a moment to evaluate. Is this a real need or just a fleeting want? Sometimes waiting 24 hours changes everything.
Building an emergency fund is presented as critical, non-negotiable really, a safety net. Ideally, 3 to 6 months of living expenses. It offers invaluable peace of mind during unexpected bumps, job loss, medical bills. It's your financial shock absorber.
And the source material really stresses saving for long-term goals, especially retirement. It truly hammers home the power of starting early to harness that compounding growth, where your money earns money on itself. It's almost magical.
Hmm. Debt management is another crucial piece. Prioritizing paying off high-interest debt first, like credit cards. This frees up significant cash that can then go towards saving and investing, accelerating your progress.
Right. So once that foundation feels solid, we move to strategic growth through investing in your future. The material presents investing as that powerful next step to build wealth faster and achieve genuine financial independence.
And it all begins with the magic of compounding. That principle where your investment gains generate their own earnings, significantly multiplying your wealth over time. This is exactly why starting early, even with small amounts, is just so incredibly powerful.
Your investment strategy, though, it absolutely has to align with clear financial goals, whether that's retirement, education funding, building a legacy. Without a goal, it's just money swirling around.
Yeah, and the material emphasizes risk management and diversification, understanding your personal risk tolerance, and then strategically spreading investments across different asset types, stocks, bonds, maybe real estate, to manage risk and protect your portfolio.
The audiobook powerfully challenges that myth that investing is only for the wealthy. It stresses that small, consistent contributions, thanks to compounding, can grow significantly. making investing accessible to pretty much everyone.
And continuous learning is paramount. The material makes it clear. Educating yourself is crucial for making informed decisions, avoiding costly mistakes, and adapting your strategy as things change.
So we've covered the what and the how, but the audiobook also dives deep into the psychology of money. This section really highlights that money isn't just numbers on a page. It's deeply tied to our emotions, values, beliefs, even our identity, influences every financial decision.
Oh, definitely. Our relationship with money often starts way back in childhood, shaped by those early experiences that then influence our financial behaviors for life, whether we realize it or not.
And your mindset plays such a huge role.
Yeah.
The material contrasts the scarcity mindset, that feeling of never enough, with an abundance mindset, seeing opportunity, possibility. These fundamentally impact your financial decisions and just your overall well-being.
What's fascinating is how emotions really drive decisions. The audiobook links this to behavioral economics, showing how fear like FOMO, fear of missing out, or loss aversion, or even excitement and envy profoundly influence spending and investing. We think we're rational, but often, not so much.
Yeah, this is where self-control and delayed gratification becomes so critical again. They are the keys to avoiding that impulsive spending and consistently building long-term wealth.
The material also touches on credit perception and social comparison. Those are powerful psychological forces that pressure to keep up with the Joneses. Unfortunately, it can lead to debt or spending just for appearances, not real value.
And it wisely reminds us that while financial freedom, security, that's a worthy goal, we need to balance it with recognizing that money alone doesn't guarantee happiness. It's about finding contentment, enjoying the present too.
Money can also be tangled up with power and identity, right? Creating this psychological pull that, if you're not careful, can lead to unhealthy attachments or defining your self-worth purely by material things.
Overcoming the fear of financial failure and the shame or guilt that can come with it, that's vital. The audiobook encourages viewing setbacks not as personal failings, but as really invaluable learning opportunities.
Learning to set financial boundaries and consciously defining what enough truly means for you, rather than what society dictates, that's critical for finding genuine contentment, breaking free from that consumer treadmill.
And the material emphasizes that financial education is just a powerful tool to overcome these deep-seated psychological barriers. Because what's fascinating is our relationship with money isn't static. It's an ongoing, evolving process shaped by these deep beliefs.
And underpinning all of these principles, mastering your mouth, mind, mood, and money, is one sort of overriding theme. Consistency is key.
This really feels like the most powerful principle for long-term success in any of these areas, doesn't it? The audiobook consistently emphasizes that small, daily, consistent steps, they compound into truly significant results over time.
It's all about building habits. Financial success, emotional mastery, clear thinking, impactful communication. They aren't about grand, infrequent gestures. They're about creating automatic daily habits, like consistent saving, tracking progress, intentional communication, daily mindfulness.
A major challenge for so many of us is overcoming impatience. The material really drives home that wealth building, personal transformation, it takes time, requires a long-term view, consistent patience, sticking to the plan even when progress feels slow or you don't see results right away.
And it involves managing emotions, especially with financial decisions. The audiobook teaches you to make choices based on logic, long-term goals, not those fleeting feelings of fear or excitement that can lead to impulsive, costly mistakes.
Setting clear, smart goals provides that direction and motivation for consistent effort across all four areas. Without a target, consistency can be kind of aimless.
Automating finances is highlighted as just a powerful way to remove decision-making fatigue. Ensure money consistently goes towards goals without relying purely on willpower. And similarly, you can build in regular practices for your mind and mood, automate them into your routine.
Tracking progress, whether it's your bank balance, your mood patterns, your communication effectiveness, keeps you accountable and motivated. Seeing how far you've come is incredibly encouraging, isn't it?
Right. And consistency isn't about perfection. It's about resilience. It's about bouncing back quickly from setbacks, course correcting, getting back on track. Life will throw curveballs. Consistency is how you handle them.
Discipline is essential for making those difficult choices, resisting temptation, allowing you to truly benefit from exponential growth over time, whether financial compounding or the cumulative effect of positive thoughts.
It also ties back to avoiding lifestyle inflation. Maintaining consistent habits helps you increase wealth without just spending more as your income rises. Consistency ensures your gains aren't just silently eaten away.
Ultimately, consistency builds this profound confidence and self-control. leads to wiser decisions across the board. It requires adaptability, sure, adjusting strategies when things change, but the core practice remains constant.
Its impact is just. It's huge. Consistency shapes a growth mindset, creates habits that serve your future self, helps you weather economic storms, and critically, seize opportunities you might otherwise miss. It's essential for preventing financial pitfalls, building real security, escaping that paycheck to paycheck cycle, helps you learn from mistakes, cultivates discipline, builds self-trust, instills pride, and maybe most powerfully, it allows you to model and pass on these invaluable habits to others.
Wow, okay. So you genuinely hold the key now to mastering your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. It's all laid out there for you.
Yeah, by taking intentional control of these four core areas, you've truly unlocked a clear path. A path to a life of genuine success and profound fulfillment, defined entirely on your own terms.
And maybe here's a thought to carry with you. Every single choice you make today, no matter how small it seems, it shapes the future you'll live tomorrow. So keep applying what you've learned in this deep dive, stay disciplined, and truly watch as your life transforms in ways you might not have even thought possible. Because the power to change, the power to truly thrive, it is fundamentally and truly in your hands.